It was an ordinary morning in the bustling city of Millstone. The air was crisp, and people were going about their daily routines. But something was amiss. Something that no one could see yet, something that would change their lives forever. A virus, silent, insidious, was spreading, unnoticed, through the streets. At first, it seemed like a simple flu. The kind of bug that had plagued the city for decades. But as the days passed, the symptoms worsened, and the hospitals began to feel the strain. Maya Roy, an epidemiologist working tirelessly to understand the strange symptoms appearing in patients, sat in her lab, surrounded by the sterile white walls of her office. She reviewed the data collected by her team, flu-like symptoms at first, fever, coughing, a shortness of breath. Nothing too alarming. But she knew better. The numbers were climbing. More people were coming in every hour, and they didn't seem to be recovering. Elsewhere, DR. David Lee, a veteran ER doctor, was dealing with a surge in emergency patients. The hospital had been overwhelmed in the last 24 hours, and every bed was filled. What started as simple flu-like symptoms was now becoming something far more dangerous. People were coming in, some too sick to even speak. Others, more alarming, seemed strange, agitated, unsettled.
In the midst of the rising panic, Officer Marcus Johnson patrolled the streets. His job had never felt more uncertain. As cases of the strange illness began to rise, the authorities had received reports of public disturbances. People in the streets were showing signs of aggression, bizarre outbursts, irrational violence. It seemed like the city was on the edge of chaos. And Maria Gonzalez, a city bus driver, had been seeing the worst of it. Her bus routes had grown eerily quiet as passengers began to stay home. But there were reports of strange behavior. Passengers arguing, screaming at nothing, some even physically attacking one another. The streets, once alive with people, were now filled with a quiet, ominous dread. The virus was spreading. It had no name yet, no official recognition. People were getting sick, but the true danger was still unknown. The hospitals, once prepared for a seasonal flu outbreak, now faced a much darker reality. But no one knew, at least not yet, that this virus wasn't just killing people. It was changing them. Days passed, and the virus began to evolve. Patients who had survived the initial symptoms suddenly began showing disturbing signs. They weren't dead, but they weren't the same. Some of them became agitated, violent, and it was spreading faster than anyone could have predicted. Roy's fears were confirmed when a report came in. Survivors of the virus were now showing signs of extreme aggression. Something had changed. It wasn't just the body that had been affected. It was the mind. In the streets, panic began to spread like fire. The infected, no longer just sick, began attacking people. Those who had recovered now turned violent, attacking anyone. Officer Johnson was overwhelmed. David Lee had just finished treating a young man who had seemingly recovered days earlier. But now, the patient had returned. Only this time, he wasn't sick. He was unstable, delusional, and violent. Reports began to pour in from across the city. Small fights in subway stations. Random acts of aggression in public spaces. Videos circulated online. People acting like animals, eyes bloodshot, their screams echoing like something not human. Maria Gonzalez was driving her late-night shift when she saw it. A man running full speed into traffic, slamming his fists into a passing car. When she stopped to help, he lunged at her window, his face twisted with rage, his eyes vacant. She didn't wait to understand what was happening. She hit the gas. Dr. Roy pieced it together first. The virus wasn't just infecting the lungs. It was altering brain activity. The aggression wasn't a symptom. It was the virus's evolution. A new stage. A weapon. City officials scrambled to respond. Quarantine zones were declared. Emergency alerts flashed across every screen. But it was already too late. The infected were slipping through the cracks, blending in, evolving. What will happen next? Like, share, and subscribe to find out. Don't forget to subscribe or you'll never see us again. See y'all in the next video.